Last we left off, you woke from your first night of rest in the perpetual dark of the underworld. Setting off with a slightly more measured approach to your day's travel, you made your way across elevated bridges of obsidian rock that spiderwebbed across the cavernous space. Eventually, you found the path that led you to a mountainous wall and a tunnel mouth that would eventually, and hopefully, continue to lead west. However, as you approached, something was unsettling about the entry, and spooked by falling rock and debris, you sent Tootsuite to investigate on your behalf. The squirrel familiar leapt across a chasm, and as he entered the darkness at the edge of the cave mouth, an eruption of earth consumed him. A monstrous insectoid creature destroyed the squirrel and then turned its sight upon you all. As it charged, you prepared for battle, but when it came close, found yourselves hypnotically entranced by this magical gaze. Unfortunately, without your full faculties, your 4-on-1 advantage flipped on a dime, and as you scrambled about trying to avoid its gaze and put it down, it snatched up Enid, preparing to devour her. Thankfully, her Feywild magics make her a slippery target to put down. Seeking an advantage, it burrowed into the rock below you all, and thus you gathered and fled as one. The creature gave chase, but was forced into a burrowed retreat with scarred and burnt hindquarters to remember you by. After the fight, you passed through this tunnel and found it did indeed open on the other side, a glowing cavern illuminated by the bioluminescent mushrooms and other flora growing beneath the earth. Beautiful and strange to behold, you pushed forward into this new realm until a blue veil mushroom field blocked passage forward. You deduced the poisonous and incapacitative qualities of the spores, harvested some for later concocting, and were in the process of deciding how to proceed when something caught DeCrane's eye. A diminutive mushroom was watching you all. When engaged, this mushroom was animated, sentient, and after some time, you found a whole colony had surrounded you and was watching from all corners. As you gained their trust, the mushroom unleashed a spore that allowed you to communicate with it, and all of them, telepathically, and you came to meet the myconids of the Black Sea. They were enthralled by the presence of those from the lands above, and implored you to come with them all to meet their sovereign. You agreed, you were led to their colony, met Sovereign Augril, and in short time were welcomed within their home, and offered safe passage to the Rime Sphere should you deal with a group of cultists who had burned one of their grottos nearby, to which you agreed. And with an evening of rest and potential feast ahead, we begin tonight. Immediately after the last session, there was an announcement to this colony of the Black Sea of myconids, in which a pseudo party atmosphere has begun. There is a kind of sourceless music that begins to kind of flow about the space. The natural neon bioluminescence of this colony and the mushrooms that exist within here just kind of add this very trippy party vibes. However, you do have the evening of safe rest. And you have whatever you wish to do here. If there is anything, otherwise you can bed down for the evening. But please, what's the plan?
Fucking knew that would get Leah. I threw Darude Sandstorm in the chat. I knew it would break her. I picture a mushroom version of that. Yeah, it's very trippy.
A meaty version.
God. Could I try and chat to... Well, what time of night,
Hard to tell.
Yeah,
There's not exactly night or day cycles in the Underdark or in the Underworld, but it is... it's coming into the evening. You feel like your adventure day coming to an end. But go ahead.
What's their vibe in terms of, do they... From being brought in, does it look like they have workers or spaces? Or I guess I don't know this. I think I'm just going to try and find Durble to ask some questions.
Sure. Not far from you is Durble, kind of at the forefront of, you climbed up onto this kind of massive main kind of central mushroom, almost like a city square throne in both. You were led up top to speak with Augril, and there were a number of other adult myconids who were larger than Durble and the initial myconids you'd met. Augril and these other kind of adults are anywhere between a foot to 2 feet. Augril's 2.5 feet, maybe 3 feet tall with some of the extended appendages. Beyond them, there is just a mass varied size, but no one continued up this main mushroom with you. But you do spot them kind of waiting for you back down, and you do spy with his yellow sash element of your jacket around his neck. You do spy Derp.
Derp, my guy. I will carefully make my way down, trying not to step on anyone. Though I am quite small, but they're quite small too. And I'll kind of give
easy enough. He runs up to you kind of jauntily, very like back and forth in these kind of weird little steps. But he just kind of like runs up to you waiting for you to say something.
Derbil, we're so honored to be welcomed into your community like this.
It is truly our honor. It is truly our honor to host you, and a pleasure of mine to have one of Haven's own know my name.
I totally blanked that he didn't have the adorable, cute gibberish voice when he's talking in my head, so it really caught me off guard when he used this voice.
Yeah, you still have all the spores that allow you to communicate telepathically, therefore they do not have the fun, cute little voice.
I loved his voice.
When on our way here, the crane, the tall one with the hair, we encountered some bad stuff in the Underdark, and my shield got really, really messed up. Before we go investigate the dreadful harm that befell the tower, do you guys have any like smiths or workers or any way you can get rid of like this weird black oozy goo?
One thing as a DM, I will say, it's less that there's like remaining goo on it. It's more that there is like an acidic burn that is worn
corroded
away.
The shit out of it. Got it.
Yes.
This feels like a long shot to ask a bunch of mushroom people if they're like good with smith's tools. So I totally welcome the possibility this will fall on deaf ears.
He basically just says like, I'm truly sorry to have to say no. We do not typically work with such materials, and certainly not. We do not bear arms, nor shields, nor armor. I am sorry to have failed you in this regard.
No, you never failed me. You never failed me.
Did you happen to know anyone who was at the tower, at the other, what would you call them? Space, community, tribe?
Colony is our colloquial term. And I understand that this is a difference in our cultures and in our physiology. We are simultaneously ever present and aware of everyone else within the colony and have a sense of self. But there is difficulty in knowing another within our colony as friend nor foe. We are all family. We are all one.
It's beautiful. I feel that a bit with Nettie, my sister. I'm starting to feel it, I think, with Andy, the tall one with the hat. But I'm certainly secretly really frightened of the other one. He's very scary.
He does have many weapons and a presence of darkness.
Too many. Like, he's got too many on him. Okay, that's all I really wanted to ask. I'm really sorry that happened to your other colony.
Thank you. It is painful. We all felt the ire and the burn of these villains. You do us a great service in seeing justice. We are not we're not a fighting group, but we do believe in balance.
I don't think we're a fighting group either, despite maybe our makeup. But we certainly believe in justice and balance and helping those who need it.
I will leave you to the evening's activities, whatever they may be. You're welcome to stay anywhere you choose. It will be yours. We do not have an abundance of food in the way your people would normally consume. However, we have begun accumulating all that we can, and the edible vegetation that grows within the area will be provided to you all for however much you may partake. And I will work tirelessly to find someone who can mend your shield and your ally's blade.
Please don't work that hard, and you don't need to gather that much food. We have some stuff too. That's so kind of you, but don't put yourself out.
It is not putting yourself out. I will not rest.
Just try and get like my face close up.
You really don't. You don't have to. It's okay. But thank you. Thank you.
You are too kind.
Does the ears bag? I'll go back to my crib. I'll hop back to my crib.
I'm just like talking to every single little guy and be like, oh my God, and what's your name? Oh, that's so wonderful. And like just meeting everybody and hearing what everyone does and like listening to every story that will be told to me, trying to make myself as small as possible.
Yeah, very difficult. You are very large. However, if given the opportunity to speak and asked about their history, their stories, they will. They're happy to talk about their stories, their tales. However, you find that most of the stories that they want to tell you are about what you come to realize, their interpretation of the world above, Haven, the Overlands. They speak of your world as an angelic place, a heaven, full of light and beauty. And you come to find stories that talk about their belief that when they die, that their soul spores are carried throughout the world, and if they are worthy, will find home in Haven above, where they may grow anew. You also find, though, the light of the world above is too harmful to their kind. So without this worthiness, for them to go above would mean death and would be like a trespassing and an egregious spite against like nature to try to push their way in without being deemed worthy.
You knew I was gonna take like 70 of these people back to the surface. You had to throw that back in there
just to be safe.
Just fill your pockets with tiny mushroom people.
Durable, bring them all.
See, this is where I'm a merciful DM, because I could have let you do it and then have them all burn and crumble in your hands.
No. Why have you forsaken us?
I was nervous to ask this question. What is Decrane like? How long ago did Decrane get his fill? And is he tempted by these beings? Like, what's your vibe here, Thirst King?
How you feeling? It's been a minute since.
Would mushrooms tense? Would mushrooms tickle his fancy? I don't know. Like,
I don't think.
Not for you.
Not like that. No.
No, I didn't mean sexually, by the way. Just so we're all clear on the table.
The way you phrased it, I was like thinking for a minute, like.
No, but I didn't watch you slaughter a den of rabbits. Scott did.
No, I mean, I was like, wait, should I be? Are you asking me this in character, or is this?
No, I'm certainly not. I don't know this about you in character. No. I was just
like,
curious,
are you asking the character, or are you just asking me?
Kevin, Scott to Kevin.
I don't know where we are anymore. I was asking Scott to Kevin about Decrane.
Okay, that makes sense. So I would say Decrane would have no interest in mushrooms because, he believes in protein, and then
say red meat.
Meat kind of thing. Yeah.
How dare you?
Mushrooms are like a side thing.
I think to get into like a little bit more internally in the way that Decrane like senses other living creatures and senses energy specifically, the source of life that you are seeking. You sense it in a very different way here. There is life, there is energy here, but it is not the typical life energy that you would be accustomed to. There is life here. You can open yourself up and tap into it and see, like you can, in the same way that you can in a large, like in a city, in what we've talked about before, this is a large populated area with a lot of living creatures. You could try and embrace it in that way if you wish.
You know what? Yeah, I would give it a go. Like, energy source is an energy source.
That's
Well,
it.
I have my preferences. I cannot be choosy all the time.
Just picture you whispering this to yourself in the dark.
60 tiny mushroom people just drop dead. Because they each have this much energy.
Yeah, they probably have a quarter HP.
No, but part of what this effect is not visible to anybody. It is purely a form in which Decrane can feed and open himself up to the abundant energy in a highly populated, highly energized space. However, it does hit you differently than when you actively like seek to feed. We'll get to that in a little bit. Is there anything anyone else is seeking to do before kind of bedding down? Shortly after you guys break, there are like massive kind of woven bowls and like massive platters that are brought out to like bring you food. There are bountiful bowls of like this specific fern that is dark brown and with like almost black stems. There are these purple red strawberries and these sorrel flowers, these hibiscus sorrel flowers that are like white flowered poppies with like a very crimson center. There's tea in like teapots that you can smell is incredibly pungent. Actually smells kind of like wet dog, so it doesn't immediately become appealing. But all of these things, like they're presenting you with platters of things and offering for you to anyone you walk by is like offering for you to have their home. Like you can just go in and it is yours.
So kind. It'd just be like very gracious eating, even trying to eat the stuff that smells gross because I don't want to be rude.
Actually, when you putting over the kind of smell and being courteous, it actually tastes like vanilla and chai. Like it tastes great. It smells awful. It smells like wet dog. Tastes amazing. The fern has like a licorice quality, so that's a personal taste. And then the strawberries taste like strawberries, just amazing. And the sorrel is a flower, though. Most of you know that flowers are edible, and certain flowers are edible, and they taste surprisingly good. Like just kind of on their own, like not even anything done to them. Yeah, Augustus, you find surprisingly that the food is actually really good. What they do offer you, and very different.
Nettie and I said in canon that we're vegetarians, so this is great.
Yeah, you find no sources of meat. It is all vegetation. It is all grown locally sourced.
I don't want to like put out anyone's home. Like, can we just like sleep? I don't want to steal someone's house.
We will sleep wherever you want us to sleep, please.
I don't think we're gonna fit in anyone's house, but wherever we go, wherever we end up, I'm going to. We're still in like kind of cavey system, undergroundy area, right? Here?
Yes, you're still in a cavern. Like there is a domed cavern. You do see pockets where there are sections that either they might be tunnels or they might just be pockets of a cave that have other homes and things like that within. But it is a contained cavern. It's large, but still a contained cavern.
Wherever we end up sleeping, I'm gonna cast light on like a stone or something, and just put like a piece of cloth over it with a bunch of holes, so it kind of looks, because she really misses the stars, so it looks like Nate's little
like
thing,
Allie's
that shines
light,
star.
yeah, Alice light too. That's
like a kid night light that shines stars on the ceiling.
That's really cute. You would have no complaints from August too about that.
Yeah.
Just really missing the sky. As much as this is all very wonderful.
As much as August loves birds, I think feeling lonely from that, he would sketch in his little book Durable, and this little like scarf. and maybe start sketching the little mushroom people.
I think you also find that no matter where you go, you have an entourage of people of all these myconids who are kind of following and like wanting to like see what you're going to do and just bring, like, if you even mention to like how, you know, you missed this or said something, they want to go and find something for you. They can't get 90% of the things that you will be searching for, but like they want to serve you. And ultimately, when you decide to bed down kind of in the middle of the city center area, so to speak, just for lack of
side on the wall,
just somewhere, a ring of myconids within about 30 feet of you have just hundreds of them are also now bedding down out and just like watching and just like out in this kind of space, just giving you space, but just watching you. Durble front and center amongst them.
My dude, I love him.
If there's anything else from you guys, feel free to jump in. However, I would like a persuasion check from Andy, as you could get some more information in your like search for information. Like there is
it's genuine curiosity. It's less like she's trying to find something specific, but
it's more just to see how well you're
persuasion.
able to... Yep,
not very good.
It's not a high DC, I'll say that.
Okay, what's my charisma? Oh, okay, so it's a straight 10.
Yeah, I mean, 10 was the DC, so you just skated by. These people consider you guys are like angels, like higher beings. So like the DC was not particularly high to get anything of interest from them. And like I kind of gave you bits and pieces of their storytelling, a little bit of their ecology. However, you do pick up on a couple of things. Maybe you find them of interest, and how they come about is up to your interpretation of like what story could bring this about. But you learn that the myconids are asexual. They reproduce through spores and a network of mycelium that encompasses their circle and connects them to the next circle and colony all through mycelium that is like interwoven throughout multiple colonies. Back to that conversation of them being one.
Does that mean there's no babies?
No.
I want to see like one that's like this big.
Technically, they just grow as spores, but Durble is kind of about as small as you're going to get.
Boy.
Anything prior to that would just be growing and still attached before it gained sentience and came out of the ground. However, there is a piece of historical information that you would find of interest. The Black Sea Circle has been in the underworld in some fashion since the receding of the Great Flood. Some believe this flood a purge by the lords of Haven above, while others believe its origins were of malevolent beings, not of Haven itself. Nevertheless, the Black Sea itself was not always here. The caverns and tunnels beneath the Black still stand, though now deep beneath this fallen flow.
So they're saying the caverns were always here, but the water that happened here wasn't always here? Was that the gist?
And they're saying there are caverns and tunnels and potentially cities
under the water.
Because the water wasn't here before. The water would have washed down to the lowest levels, and anything that was there is now deep beneath the Black Sea.
What level is water breathing?
3rd.
I thought. Yeah, I'm like, I don't have it, but I might one day.
It is a druid spell, so.
Yeah.
Do they call themselves? I wanted to make sure. Do they call their colony the Black Sea Circle? Did you say, or colony?
Circle of the Black Sea, myconids of the Black Sea. And you come to find, I guess, the Black Sea is the name of like this region of the underworld.
Okay.
It encompasses a pretty wide territory. Almost anything that would be remotely touched by the Black Sea, which does seem to expand quite extensively, is under that kind of name. Is there anything else from your group before bed?
What did I want to ask you? I think I would just say something like, they called us the Descenders. That was a pretty cool name. I know we've been thinking about a name for the 4 of us. Don't have to lock it in, but the Descenders. What else did they say? People from Haven. I think they think we're like angels.
Yeah, they definitely, I mean, everyone's welcome to believe what they want to believe. Things don't entirely line up with what we know, but, as long as we continue to remain kind about it, I don't see a reason why we can't let them think what they want to think.
Yeah.
I don't want to take advantage of it. That seems cruel, but, maybe we can help them and also get through this place safer than we have. Win-win.
Sorry, I sneezed.
There are lots of spores here.
Everything's very musty.
It hurts our little rabbit noses, especially.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if this happened in game, so just to bring it up again, because I think Leah, you saw it. Someone saw it. The like shared vision we had of that being who killed that myconid is wearing a mask. Does anyone recognize like what that was? I think it was the same iconography that we saw in those other people.
Yeah, did we grab a mask of theirs? I can't remember.
We took like a little like sigil, almost like from one of the like
It's a little amulet.
yeah, and it was like from one of the like the troglodyte or reptilian people that tried to drown DeCrane. Jokes on them. So that's creepy.
That was a good day.
And just to remind, that was yesterday, by the way. Just to remind
away.
what the icon is, or the symbol is, the top half of a humanoid skull. So you can imagine just the top half of a skull at the teeth, impaled through the skull with a spike.
The Defilers.
I think, yeah, if you have the Defilers written down,
Followers of
likely Nazul.
Yeah. Nazul.
Likely you did a history or religion check after seeing the mask, after seeing this shared vision. So yeah, a reminder for all. I'm sure Andy would share this. Nazul is a god of pain, necromancy, torture, a straight up just super evil guy. The followers of his are likewise. He is known as the Vile Warden, the Torturer, the there's something, I almost said Nightmare King, and I'm like, that's not what it is, but it's Nightmare something.
It's a Dimension 20ism.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds not so fun. Neither does that cult.
And his followers are likewise not so fun.
Yeah, they're bad people.
I will also just one element that is maybe neither here nor there. It seemed like more of the creatures that you fought in the Black Sea weren't wearing them as in like they were wearing it. It was more like on their pouch, like either a trophy or like just scavenged because it was like silver.
Oh.
It wasn't something that they like amongst other trophies.
Yeah, they wasn't like on them.
Less.
It wasn't like they were those people and they picked something up. Okay.
That's
Exactly.
helpful to know. Okay.
Just in terms of how you could imagine it being on their person. Yeah, these guys though in the vision very clearly faces skull mask.
Bad news.
Before any other conversation can continue, I would ask for a intelligence saving throw from Andy, Enid, and Augustus, please.
Look.
I'll
50?
happily sit that out.
You do indeed.
Yeah, I wonder why.
15.
15.
6.
Awesome.
24.
Okay.
Damn.
The intelligence save is a solid one to make, to not have to worry about potential future implications, and by future I mean tomorrow's implications. Regardless, any of you who ate any of the food or drank any of the tea, y'all are tripping balls. This is
My God.
hallucinogenic. For the next 6 hours, you are on a mushroom trip to the nth degree. You're technically considered poisoned, but not a huge deal. However, you can speak with animals and plants fluently, so that's nice. begin to hear the voices of all the mushrooms around kind of begin to intermingle with the natural sounds. It's difficult to fall asleep for the next couple of hours. But depending on how well you've experimented in your years of life, could be super fun.
My paws feel so weird. Did you ever just think about paws? I'm gonna go to bed.
Is the floor talking to us?
No, it's the ceiling. The ceiling's talking.
I think
Are
it's
you
everything,
sure?
actually. Yeah, I think it's literally all the things.
Talking to you.
Oh god.
Durable. Oh, Durable.
Hey, what's up? I'm over here.
Just see him in my head, like, changing size, just like, yeah. I immediately shut my eyes.
It does not get better for sure. Right?
It does not get better.
Your star diagram that you put up really becomes
I know, that's all I can think of right now.
Really
I'm
fires
just
up.
moving.
Whoa. Looks like your tattoos are moving.
Yeah, they do. But okay.
I would go to sleep trying to think of the spells I would need. Not that I really know spells, but trying to think of like, oh man, I wish my magic could do this tomorrow. And that'll be how I prepare my spells. As I'm tripping.
It's difficult.
Yeah, as
You're
I'm tripping hard.
I think at least one of those spells should be just totally unuseful.
You got it. I'll find a good one. What's the worst spell here?
You do all eventually do come to find sleep, and thankfully, the time you'd gotten here and the time that this trip sets in, the time you decide to try and fall asleep, it's earlier in the day, so you are able to kind of extend a rest. You're able to pull in a long rest. However, a couple of things happen. Firstly, I'd like Enid to roll me a d4, please.
Uh-oh.
Should I change my music to something scarier?
You could put something a little bit more dramatic on it.
A little more tense? Okay. All right.
I've messaged each of you something as well. You could
Yes.
please go ahead and do that now.
I can tell you mine.
3.
Oof. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay. Enid, you know what? Actually, we'll wait till the morning for that. It's not going to impact you right now.
Okay.
Please.
But it will. As I'm waiting for some of these responses for what I've messaged you privately to Crane, as you've settled into these festivities, taking in the color and the smells around you, watching your party trip balls, you've extended yourself to this like colony and fed on the energy here, and there is this space of bountiful life around you. You feel recharged, but you feel a little, you still feel a pang of hunger. It's not the same as eating. You are sustained, but it's still not the same as actually consuming like a meal, consuming food. Okay. What I will say is you're coming to find your desire to physically feed is hitting a level of similar to where you were before. If you don't find a way to use your energy drain directly, you could be facing a pretty significant exhaustion, a feeling of being like very faint, very ill, and an absence of energy that will begin to wear away at your physicality and functional functionality. However, you are sustained for the next few days, given this this energy here is different. This like need to feed is more of like a mental need to feed. Like imagine, yes, you are sustained physically, but like the lack of actually eating properly is wearing you down in a different way. So something to just consider going forward. Leah's not back yet, so we'll jump to Enid. Enid, the darkness of this space in the day that you've been 2 days that you've been traveling here, you've been able to kind of push it back into the recesses and like kind of push it out of consciousness, out of conscious thinking, and just push forward. Definitely like spurned by DeCrane's confidence that definitely helps take some of that edge of like moving forward and facing horrors and all these weirdnesses here. And maybe it's an element of this little trip that you're on, but your dreams are nightmares. Yeah. This evening, all you're watching is that vision from Darkvale played back and forth and forward and backward, things blending in weird ways. The stench of rot is, there's the smell of mycorrhiza. It's not particularly good, a little pungent, a little musty. This rot smell that you had this sense memory of in Darkvale and that fills your dreams is worse than any other sense that you've ever kind of experienced. It's not only death, it's not only decay, it is the rot of ages. It is a rot of the soul. It's corruption. It's evil incarnate. And unfortunately, a presence lingers in your mind. This figure. You feel a pang of loss deep within you, guttural, and you just can't place it. And that lack of knowing what is eating away within you hurts doubly so. You feel like you've lost something that you care so deeply about, and you just don't even know what the fuck it is. That confusion and that fear, unfortunately, is going to leave you frightened for the next 24 hours.
Reminder of what that entails?
Disadvantage on a lot of things. The fear of this realm, it's not a fear of a particular person. Like the fear can be sourced, as in like I see the source of my fear. It is of the realm, so it's pervasive in all regards. I'll pull up the specifics of it just to send to the group as we move forward to actually the second part of your trip. When you awaken frightened, the effect of the hallucinogenic trip were quite damaging to you, and unfortunately your intelligence is reduced by 2.
Okay.
Temporary.
Crazy. Good thing I didn't have an Andy. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Roll the 24.
Oof. So does that mean it's 8?
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Okay.
Temporarily.
Yeah. Okay.
But it does mean that this continuous effect could continue to kind of spiral. Last thing for the evening, Andy, as you settle in for rest, it's difficult to find rest. So many new thoughts and ideas in this trip, kind of making everything a little bit different. However, one of the best parts of hallucinogenic experiences is the trip within and this explore within vision. And as a practitioner of divination, it is a particularly interesting experience as you begin to drop into your vision. The vision you've seen before plays out as exactly as it has. However, now the colors bleed slightly and everything feels a little bit more abstract. The progression plays out the same until you reach the battlefield. As you overlook the battlefield, you've seen this war take place dozens of times, but it's dreamlike. Faces are obscured, hazy, and you get the essence of war. You get the essence of conflict. But tonight it is different. Tonight the battle before you is clear. You see the standards of Candorne, the Candorian company at arms. You hear the blasts of rifle and cannon from behind infantry line as superior technology is brought to bear against their enemies. And opposing them, you see the 5-ringed sun crest of Sindar and the gold and black armored Sindarian sentries that clash with the company. And they are not alone. Standards of all make and mark dot the battlefield and stand with Sindar, a united front of all peoples bearing down upon that of Candorne. And just at that point, where the world should be thrust upwards into the dark sky above, the world before you instead fluctuates and ripples. The landscape before you becomes overlaid with echoes of conflict and war from across time through dimensions and beyond this plane. You see the clash of dusk-clad beasts before the wake of a rising sun. Celestial bodies and hosts collide against a tide of demonic spawn of oozing tar and vitriol. Ancient legionnaires stand in formation, battling against titans of flesh and metal while the sky is lit with the fire and flash of arcane and divine magic, peppering the onslaught of flying primordial monsters. Dozens of these conflicts splay out across your mind's eye before, at the center of them all, the stars again wink out and the world is thrust into the void. Again, you look down your astrolabe, as you have in each vision, and it again corrodes and crumbles. However, before you awaken, you notice where it crumbles away. The vision has always ended right there. There's a few seconds beyond this time. You look past your hand to see you stand upon barren black and gray rock in a sea of stars. You quickly glance about and see across this expanse of emptiness and drifting rock a pair of figures stand looking over the space. They both look at you in unison, and in that moment you awaken in the underworld. Shooting up, you turn over, you vomit, and you feel a searing in your, just above your navel. Like a burning. You begin to pull at the cloth. You have a fresh tattoo. A black hole with a line of singularity situated just above your navel. And it burns. Like a brand.
It's dark compared to all the like light white tattoos.
Black.
That's new. You go throw up again.
You watch as like 8 myconid, small little myconids come and just begin to stand in it, and it just begins to soak away.
Super gross.
No, it's not helping.
They begin to bow and step away.
Yeah, thanks. It's great. Did I get any idea of are there 2 figures at the end? Were there any details or just like silhouette shapes?
Make a perception check, I'll allow.
9 on the dice, but my perception's not very good.
No, it was going to be hard.
Yeah.
The peculiarity of the vision, the trip, this new information, this distance, it's a vision, so it's difficult to place faces anyways unless you're incredible.
Oh wait, I have advantage. Would that count now? Because of the rod?
Oh, you're poisoned, so no.
Okay.
You'd have disadvantage, so
okay.
It's
straight roll.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, too difficult to tell. Humanoid, best, like, bipedal, best you can tell. And morning-ish comes to you all as best as it can in the underworld.
Actually slept pretty good. Oh.
Does anyone have like crackers or like? I don't think I could eat the jerky right now.
Is there anything living around here that I can feast on?
What?
Living?
What do you say?
Like, I don't think you want to eat anything down here, mate. No, but I mean, like, we have like jerky. Like we have all those rations.
Give me some jerky. Let me try.
Okay. Yeah, it's in your pack. You're the one who picked up your own supplies. Wait, have you not been eating any of it this whole time? Eat your own food.
Generally like things fresh, but I'll give her that jerky a try.
Something to eat.
You find it repulsive.
This is just salt.
Yeah, that's how it's preserved. Otherwise, it would be rotten, and that'd be really bad.
Well, I think in this case, rotten sounds appealing.
Oh god. Well, this one's spicy. At least try this one instead. Just gather all
Yeah,
my
I'll try.
shit. Like cover my.
I'll give you my. You can take all this. I don't need it.
I mean, you kind of need it a little bit. Okay.
Nay, did you sleep okay?
No,
You don't look so good.
I don't know whether it was the stuff that we had, but I had horrible nightmares. That smell.
The rot?
Yeah, it was there.
We gotta get out of this place quick.
Yeah.
I don't like being
It's nice being with these cute little guys, but no, we gotta get out of here.
I love Durable. I love the colony. Gotta get out of here. So I think we gotta go check out this tower. Maybe they'll guide us to it. And then
That was the plan.
guess we'll figure out, like, are we doing a siege? You know, like, are we attacking them and they're in the tower? Maybe they were looking for something, or like, maybe they're gone.
If you were them, what
Okay.
would you expect
What would I expect from?
from an enemy?
From a bunch of mushroom people? Or?
I feel like they seemed so powerful in the eyes of the myconids that I think they'd be underestimating what's out here, which is maybe where our advantage is. They don't know that there's 4 descenders coming for them.
So, in that case, a siege would not be useful because it would take away the element of surprise.
Yeah, you're right.
If we want to attack, we gotta go fast.
Yeah, fast and quiet.
I'm not so good at the quiet part. Or admittedly the fast part, but I can try my best.
I can make us more quiet with Ray. She can help.
Okay.
I might be able to, when it comes to it, trying to see if I could use some of Ray's light to see better in the dark. And I could probably do that for myself, so I wouldn't be so much of a, liability when we start moving in the dark.
I mean, if we're going to be sneaky, we probably can't rely on my light.
Cast dark vision on myself. I wonder if I could cast it on 2 people. It's not concentration.
Can you
It's for the
upcast it?
creature.
You'd have to upcast, I think, if anything. It's already a 2nd level, I think.
You touch one creature to grant it ability to see in the dark for the duration. The creature's dark vision out to range of 60. So maybe I would use it on Nettie instead, because she's better with.
It's also only, I think, lasts an hour.
I think it's at 8. Look.
If it does, it's good.
8 hours.
Beauty. Does that have the upcast?
Doesn't have the upcast, and I only have 2 seconds. I
Yeah.
don't have many thirds. Let me actually take a long rest. Are we all good to take a long rest?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone can hit long rest. Go
I
for
got
it.
something important.
Those of you who can change out spells, feel free to do so. Send me your portents. The only downside to the long rest comes to Enid, whose intelligence is reduced for the time being. Kev?
Based on your message, do I have to do anything for a long rest?
I would still like you to do it, but I'll give you advantage on the roll given your choices.
Okay. So I just message you the numbers?
Yeah, should be fine, but yeah. That's interesting. In the interest of expediency, you guys gather up, begin to make your way out of Mycorja, and again, Sovereign Augur comes to you. Actually, I suppose for the first time, he comes to you rather than you coming up to him. They have assembled 4 of their strongest myconids to accompany you, both in battle and as guide. There are 2 of these 2-foot tall crimson capped classic mushrooms with kind of gray fleshy bodies and legs and arms, faces that are kind of just like a mouth no eyes, kind of in the middle of the like kind of body, and classic kind of red with like little white spots on the mushroom cap. There are two of these crimson way markers. There is a myconid who is known as a torch cap with multiple heads that end in yellow fungus that kind of gently glows. And there is another multi-headed myconid who is like 8 or 9 small, thinner spires that end in a green, kind of a gray-green with white spotted fungus, known as a spotted hydra. These 4 myconids will be joining you on your adventures, and you are free to, each of you, take claim of one of them and use them as you see fit.
Pokemon?
Their names are Cordis and Meek, who are the Crimson Waymarkers. Esper is the Torch Cap, and Vigil is the Spotted Hydra. They will guide you through to the Tower Grotto, and as you begin to set off, it is about a day and a half, 2 days journey, and they open a secretive path within the base of the main core kind of mushroom with these kind of gentle veil around that leads you within the root walls of the mycelium itself. And you begin to walk in this like hallway within the mycelium that is like walking through like a faint neon veil of like strands of mycelium, these white fibrous walls that all gently kind of glows in this faint white blue light, like a odd fluorescent like lit hallway, and it's like weirdly like squishy to walk on. This travel, it's just kind of odd. It is odd to travel in this way. However, it is expedited and it is safe. There's no encounter along the way as a result of this like secretive myconid path.
Just a question. So are all 3 of us poisoned?
That was just for the period of the while you were tripping.
Oh, we're no longer poisoned. I understand. I will take it off my conditions.
2 days have basically 1 additional long rest passes in this instance as you're traveling. So I will need everyone to roll again on the saves. Enid, your intelligence goes back up by 1 after a long rest, so you can return back up. But I need everyone to make those saves once more.
Okay.
D20?
Yep.
Kyle,
60.
I rolled the same. I'll just send it to you.
That's perfect. No, you're good.
Okay.
14 for me.
What's the save again? Sorry.
For you is a little different.
Secrets.
What?
Secrets. Read your messages.
You got to send whatever it is to.
Oh, that one. I thought this was a different. Sorry.
With your roll, Kev, you're good. 16 is on the die is more than enough.
Secrets.
The day and a half travel to get where you're on your way and getting familiar with these 4 myconids. They're not very talkative unless you address them. Like they're not bringing things up on their own, but they're happy to talk if you do ask them anything. So, but regardless, after a few hours after setting off on the second day of travel within the mycelium, the myconid begin to slow, and you begin to smell a smoky scent to the air. As they lead you forward, they pause before on the left wall you see a tightly coiled mycelium root. One of the main myconids reach for it, and they release kind of a plume of spores towards this coil, and it begins to unwind and reveal an opening in the wall through which a dull light pours into the space. As the myconid steps forth and you follow suit, you step out of the wall onto a ledge of rock overlooking a sunken cave. To the left, a gently flowing waterfall spills from a high ledge down into a grotto. The pool of water within the grotto is about 500 feet across, and rising from its glassy surface, you see a tower of dark stone, 30 to 40 feet in height, tapering slightly to an open, crenulated top. Where it meets the lake, there is no sign of water breaking against an island or landmass. Spreading out beneath you and the lake's edge is a black rock littered with charred vegetation, crumbling piles of dried flesh, and the husks of hewn myconids. It is a bleak sight, but the tower lies before you in the grotto. What are you doing?
Could Nettie and I see that, or is that more for our dark visioning friends?
No, you can still see it. Through this kind of opening where the waterfall flows, there is a bit of light that kind of comes in and illuminates the space a little more. It would still be considered dimly lit, but it's very clear to see a tower rising out of the water.
I would love to see if I can see any movement in there.
Go ahead and make a perception at disadvantage.
Yeah. First one really good. Second one, nat one.
Honestly,
From 19 to nat one is just such a peak and valley.
It is just simply too dark at too long a distance.
I can't see anything. Do you guys see anything?
It's approaching in front of us. Yes, it's there.
I can smell
Oh, is there, I'll look at our little myconid buds. Is there another way in? Is it out in the middle of the water?
We have never been inside the tower.
Okay.
The tower is not for us.
Meaning like you're not going to come with?
We will come with you
Oh, okay.
to avenge our fallen. But the colony who was here before, he did no mind.
Right. It would. Is being underwater a problem for you guys?
We do not swim.
You don't swim. Okay. Do you like breathe?
They kind of look. Shark.
That's not helpful. Okay. Do we see any like land bridges or like any connection?
Make a perception check. Also at disadvantage.
But I have advantage, so straight.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Perfect.
Nice.
Do you try to look from this distance, or do you want to try and get closer?
I think I would get a little bit closer because like we really can't. We're not within a good range of vision.
Mm-hmm. You're able to kind of scamper down a little bit, and there are, unfortunately, husks of bodies to use as your cover. There's a couple bits of like larger bits of rock you can use to kind of cover. And the tower is still a long ways off, so even if there were creatures up on top, you have no source of light on your side. Obviously, Ray has been like dimmed, and the torch cap is keeping its light completely off. With a natural 20, you can say very confidently there is no direct connection from land to tower. It seems like it rises cleanly out of the water. And without getting to the water's edge, that's all you can get, even with a 20.
Okay, well maybe if this lake wasn't here before, maybe there's an underground connection somewhere that somehow isn't flooded. Maybe there's some tunnels or something from around the edge. I don't know if anyone has a way to check or look. I mean, we can just spread out, but I'm a little nervous about breaking up at this point.
I'm gonna, since we're so close, Ray's gonna make us a little quieter.
And I'll cast Pass Without a Trace through Ray on us right now.
Perfect.
So we have an hour of stealthiness. Do we all have to be together for that, or that just affects everyone? The duration each creature you choose.
Is it like a glitter bomb?
You have to be within. Kyle, you tell me. It says each creature you choose within 30 feet of you has a plus 10 to Dex. So I guess
is it like when it's cast, or if they leave?
Let me read. I think this is a hotly debated element of it. Certainly everyone has to be within range for the cast for it to matter. But do they have to stay within range of self? A veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection for the duration. Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including it. So the point is a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you. So while within 30 feet of you, creatures of your choice gain this benefit.
I dig that.
So plus 10 bonus to stealth to anyone within 30 feet of you.
Do we want to try and stealth closer to the water's edge? And see if maybe our myconid friends, once we get closer, could see if there's... Like, how did those people get across with their boats? Do we have to go across the water? Do we want to do that?
Should I do an investigation?
We can try and get closer
I
first.
can do it.
We can get closer and look for like footprints or something.
Yeah, like get closer.
I will say, stealth checks all around, and then we can go
Nice.
secondary from there.
So everyone had a plus 10 to this stealth.
For the time being, I'll
Okay.
roll for the myconids collectively. Once we
Sweet.
break into combat, you are free to pick one at your leisure. Although I guess you could choose which one you want now, and then it'll just save us that time later. If
Let's
there
choose
is
now.
a preference.
Virgil, Cordis, Torch Caps, Esper, something else. Virgil, Spotted Hydra.
Yeah, there. Spotted Hydra is Virgil. Esper is the torch cap, and then there are two that are crimson waymarkers. That is Cordis and Meek. Also, the myconids were surprisingly stealthy with a 27
Oh,
Nice, good job.
with the plus 10.
Yeah, 29 with a plus 10.
Okay, which one do you guys want? Do you guys want... What name resonated with you?
I like the way Espa sounds with an Australian accent.
Guess what? You just got Esper. Allie, do you
Here's-
want a Spotted Hydra? Do you want a Crimson Waymarker? What do you want?
I'll take a spotted hydra. That sounds
that feels
cool.
very Allie.
This
You
first
have
one
Virgil.
link is to the torch cap for Esper, Elia. This link, second link is for Allie, Spotted Hydra.
Okay, Kev, do you want Virgil or Cortus? They're like the same thing, but you just gotta choose a name.
No, Virgil is Spotted Hydra. Cordis and Meek.
Sorry. Cortus and Meek? Oh, Meek is so cute. Do you want Meek or Cortus? Which one did you want?
Cordis.
Fuck yeah, I wanted Meek the whole time.
What's mine's name? Mine
Virgil.
Virgil.
And yours is the
Dante's
second link.
brother's name.
Yeah. So Kevin, Scott take the third link. Allie take the second link. Leah take the first link.
Oh my god, their stats are so bad.
They're
That guy's
mushrooms.
sick. That guy's unreal. He's gonna wreck yours.
They're
Oh, the abilities are cool.
mushrooms.
My guy can headbutt. He can spore things.
My guy only has 2 positive stats.
I think that's true of all of them.
Yeah, that's pretty standard, it looks like. The one I
That's
feel
so pretty.
the most scared for is Cordis. Sweet Kevin's one, because that one is getting sent to its death almost immediately. How tall are all of ours?
For the most part, like 2 feet,
Okay.
2.5 at the tallest, with some of the like elements of the torch cap and the spotted hydra like kind of standing up higher.
Okay, let's all sneak down to the shoreline.
Yes, sorry. So stealth from Decrane, I think it's the only one I haven't heard, or Augustus.
I rolled really well. I
Okay,
rolled
fine.
17 plus 10, 27.
27, 29 for Andy. I think Enid was solid.
No,
rolled-
I got 14. So I
You rolled a
one.
natural 1?
Yeah.
Oh.
I always just think rogues or rangers.
Yeah, what was your sir?
stealthy.
16 and 5, 21.
Yeah, you're fine. 31.
I also just forget that we're level 3.
I know.
All the time I forget.
It's so much easier to fuck up now, Scott.
I know it is.
There's no like, oh, Kevin just automatically rolls a 10 on half of his skills that he uses.
Don't worry, he'll save on that. His evasion takes no damage.
The I think it's just still kind of weighing on you, Enid, like just the elements from the other night. Like you're just still not fully here. Like it still doesn't feel real, like where you're at. Like it's becoming kind of difficult to tell what's dream, what's real. So there's just a little bit of element in play in your step, just not being quite as solid. However, you're just naturally still skilled and you're able to kind of fit with the rest of the group. and very much thankful for Augustus's magics to help everyone here. You feel very confident that you are all well hidden in this darkness, in this space. You don't see any signs of like kind of light anywhere to like indicate other people. So like it just seems really quiet and general cave echoes. But you are now kind of within 10 feet of the water's edge. You can get closer if you wish, but like within 10 feet at least.
Let's see what our myconids can do. Can they like sense things through the ground?
Yeah, I'm just checking right now. They can sense other myconids within 240 feet. Oh, it's only if they're in pain. So if there's any like alive ones inside, but
do they sense pain, or is that pretty? Nothing?
They seem to have no response.
Okay. What can this rod do? Does it give me anything else?
Now that we're closer to the shore, does it look like there's any like I'm almost thinking investigation now, like are there any like where boat imprints were on the shoreline? Like I'm wondering how those humans got to there.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and make a survival check.
Cool. Sweet.
Before you give me the answer, you did not cast dark vision on yourself.
I did not.
In this case, then, unless you guys are applying a light, it will be at disadvantage.
I think we should. I said I did it without light, so let's just roll again.
I would allow you to do this with a light and keep that roll because you have access so easily to a light. But it does like obviously potentially impact the stealth aspect.
I rolled twice anyways because I was hoping we wouldn't do a light thing. So my lowest was 18.
Great.
Yeah.
The difficulty here is just trying to pick through what you don't want to see. There's a lot of forms that you have to kind of like look past, and brutality and literal like burned corpses of their mushrooms, but you've now come to live with them for 2 days and you care about living things regardless of what they look like. So it is bleak to look upon. However, one of the advantages of a still cavern and the remnants of flame and ash and soot is obvious trails, tracks, and the like left within the ash and soot. You can see multiple sets of footprints. You can see indeed boats were pulled up onto shore and then pushed presumably back out. You can see drag marks, and at least 4 or 5 different sets of footprints. At least, maybe there's a couple that you could be getting plus or minus 1 or 2 there just because there's so much overlap. But at least a group of 5 minimum.
From that roll, you could tell me if this is a lost cause, but I don't know how you'd even know that. I'm more or less wondering, like, do we get the sense they came and left? Like, when we saw that vision, was that from the shoreline? Or did its perspective? Okay.
You now recognize, like, as you're kind of positioning yourself from the vision, it looks like it would have been amongst this carnage here on the main shoreline, on the main landmass. I think that, that's about as best you can tell from this position.
Can I want to do a little digging. I just want to get a understanding of the ground.
Sure. Easy enough.
Is there anything of note?
Get down to your kind of hands and knees. The vegetation here is kind of mossy. Of what remains is like you get through the ash and the top layer having been burned, though it is kind of moisture laden, so it actually didn't get like completely burned through. There is a level of vegetation to the elements of the rock around that is this kind of thicker moss once you get down a little deeper, and there's some elements of earth amongst the rock, like you can get to dirt and stuff, but for the most part it's a lot of black barren rock similar to that of everywhere else in the underworld, but you're not able to tell much more without kind of seeking for something specific.
One thing I'll let everyone know is I'll be like, fire will not do well here. The ground is moist. There isn't much to burn either.
Can I talk to one of our little myconids here for a sec? And I would just say, whether it's to Meek or someone else, is there any significance to this tower for the colony?
It was here when the colony landed here. It seems to have been as old as the sea. It was always something that was known and always gave us a sense of reverence. And thus we let it sit, let it be.
That's good to know. Yeah, I was mostly just wondering, did they build this or... Okay.
No, it seems, obviously, in your time with the myconids, not builders, not masons, not craftsmen. They live in what they grow. Like the land itself, their mycelium would like provide like homes for them to live in, and you can see evidence and remnants of larger mushrooms and things where they would have used as homes rather than as living creatures. Also, likewise, kind of destroyed and burned and damaged. The other element is the water, like without passage across, they would not fare well.
Okay, that's another thing I wanted to know. Okay, great. Good to know.
Does this rock, is it like porous rock or is it pretty solid? Like, would we think that like if there were tunnels underground, potentially would the water just like go right through it, or?
It seems relatively porous.
Okay, so the water would likely permeate through any tunnels that had been left.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have to go across. Maybe how far is it? Like, could we swim this? How far is it from shore to tower right now?
I thought we were told not to go in the water.
You could swim it. It's it's not like you're trying to swim a mile here. It's not incredibly far. It's maybe 100, 200 feet, give or take, like hard to kind of gauge exactly. And like there's different areas of a point of entry because the landmass kind of curves around. It is the kind of like a lake, and there's like up to the upper left, like this like picture, like you're in a sunken cave, right? You can see out to like through this hole up where this kind of faint kind of trickling waterfall is. It is providing a little bit of illumination that there is like elements of like pass around that you could go other spaces rather than like a direct entry. But given a natural 20 perception, a couple of other checks, it doesn't look like there's any other passage across to this tower. But there's just other elements of the landmass. So I don't recall whether there was warning to avoid the water or not. I don't recall.
I don't remember. I thought there was.
I think it was just like the water's cold.
Be.
There's scary stuff under the water, but I don't know if the myconids warned us.
If there was, you could have also imagined it as an element of like they should avoid the water.
They'll dissolve when they touch the water.
So just generally, it's dangerous to myconids, so they would extend that danger to you as well.
We should take them by surprise by going straight through.
I thought you just said to be sneaky.
But
Like, wasn't that the...
Yes, we can be sneaky, but they will expect us. They will not expect us to go in the most obvious space.
I think generally they're just not going to expect anyone at all. How long have how long ago was this? Like, how long have they been holed up in this tower?
Question.
It would be 4 days at this point.
We don't even know if they're still in this tower.
3 days?
Oh, it really hasn't been that long.
No.
Oh, I was thinking it'd been like weeks.
No, this happened just like within days.
Oh, wow.
What if we chilled here for like 20 minutes, half an hour, just to see if we caught any like light moving in the tower or anything like that?
What
I just haven't seen anything.
What if I fired a shot at the tower?
It's so funny. Your plan for surprise has immediately changed into I'll shoot the tower. Bang, 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 bang.
That thing echoes like a lot, and then we're in a cave, which is just like entirely echoes and water. Like,
Okay.
there goes our sneakiness.
I want to add just one other extra element before the conversation continues, just to add to a little bit of my description that I think is partially from the previous episode that I was relying a little bit on. but I would still want everyone to roll for it. So please, can everyone roll perception?
Disadvantage for me?
You're now at the water's edge, so you're closer. You would still be I guess you didn't cast dark vision, so yeah, still disadvantage. Sorry.
Would I have disadvantage?
Do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
So I have advantage.
14
You have
with disadvantage.
18.5.
20.
23.
Nice. Damn. Good job, guys.
Okay, well, at the water's edge, you can see a lot more. So, like, the perception rolls here are going to help. But I was just gonna add like an element to the tower's description. But now, like, I can actually give a little bit more of like actually perceiving it to the water's edge. So that works out nicely to have a natural 20 and a 23. First thing about the tower, from the water's level, which is more or less pretty like still water, it rises 40 or 50 feet up to a crenulated top. You see no sign of door, window. It is sheer wall. No sign of ladder. No sign of stairs. There are 4 square walls that comes to a point at the top. There seems to be no way in or up, at least directly. At the water's edge, scroll down a little in my document here.
Did you say earlier, Kyle, that it's an open top, or can we now see that it goes to a point?
It is open and crenulated, so it is it's like open and has the battlement
Classic.
kind of crenulation.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
Where is the part about the water? Regardless, it's not hugely important. It's possibly important. It's pretty important.
Nat 20 for your thoughts?
It's pretty important. With a nat 20 at the water's edge and a 23 from DeCrane, both of you can see a pinpoint of light at the top of the tower that looks like faint firelight. What you imagine is someone like lighting a tinder box, maybe lighting a cigarette or like some like pipe or something like that. Like you can see an element of flame at the very top. You both, in the darkness, obviously this firelight kind of stands out, but with very high rolls, you're able to see that. And lastly,
I have an idea.
Andy, at the water's edge, you spy something move in the water, deep within the water. And the only reason you spy it moving in the water is because there are these very faint white dots that illuminate through this otherwise basically black water. It's about 15 feet long, like a fish of some kind.
It's a whale shark.
Kind of looks like, yeah, actually, that's a pretty good description, except instead of being kind of wide, it's thinner and tall. Larger fins on the back. And the lights are very faint, but a natural 20 gives you the advantage of seeing. And it's just faintly kind of drifting in the water, about 20 feet down, 20, 30 feet in.
Does it look like it's just like flat drifting, or is it like swimming?
Give me a nature check.
This is gonna go well. Oh wait, no, nature's intelligence based. Oh, but I rolled a 5. Bad. My intelligence is fine, but nature 8.
Nope.
Yep.
Looks like a fish.
Great.
If we were still high, we could talk to that fish. Find some food.
There we go. It's definitely something under the water. It looks like it could try to eat us. I'm a little nervous about it. It's right there. And I try to like track it with my finger.
DeCrane, you rolled the 23.
Mm-hmm.
With Andy pointing it out, can you throw me a history or nature check, please?
Sure.
Cool.
Your choice.
I did history. I could have done better.
You don't know the history of this creature.
Okay,
Oh,
I
never
rolled
mind then.
a 20, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's a clutch time.
We're going to roll like shit for the rest of this game,
Yeah,
guys.
can't
As
wait
soon
to
as we
fight
get into
this thing.
combat, all nat
Alright.
ones.
This is very uniquely something that you know a lot about that no one here can know about. And I'm going to be very cryptic as to how. This creature is known as a night scaver. It looks like a 15-foot long shark. By its nature, as you see it, the white spots are very faint, and that's an element that you can tell it's sleeping. Because when it is awake, the lights are bright, and its singular eye is bright like a spotlight. It is a predatory hunter. Now, how you know about these creatures? They're not from here. They're not from this space. It's unusual to see one here. You know them from where you're from. Originally.
Did you say where I'm from?
Originally.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ooh, this is,
Where are we from originally, DeCrane? We don't know shit.
no one heard that.
This is just DM as a god speaking to you.
That's why there's no accent in my voice.
The fact that this is here is one, a kind of flutter to your stomach, that this is, recalling a place that you have been away from. Both an element of longing to the, majesty of it, but also a element of fear, because the creatures and things that exist within that space are deadly. This one is asleep currently, and you can tell that, as I said, by the lack of its light. However, one last note, natural 20, they're not beholden to the water, as they wouldn't be where you've seen them.
Okay, that's very okay. So everyone would have heard that, but I'll be like, we can't go into the water. There's something in there.
Yeah, that thing. Is it bad? Is it scary?
I haven't seen this anywhere except where I'm from. That concerns me. That means that there is a great threat here.
Okay, so we don't go in the water.
We have to find another way.
Should we
kill this creature now?
What? Should we get out of here though? Why don't we just not confront it? Go over there.
It's asleep right now.
Okay, so let's not wake it up. Let's be fucking quiet and go that way.
And another warning: it is not restricted to water.
Great.
Where are you?
Excellent.
It's not important where I'm from.
But I've been a lot of places. What is this thing? What does it do?
I never want to go where you're from.
It's called a night scraper.
That sounds awful.
Night scaver.
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
It is a very terrifying creature.
Okay, well, let's have this conversation 60 feet that way. Oh, wait for this thing.
Just creep back.
Do you creep back back to where you came, straight back, or do you go around the side one way or the other? It is kind of, it's a lake, it's a grotto.
What if we?
I think if it's floating this way, we go this way.
Hey,
head
waterfall.
towards the left.
Waterfall is already making noise, so if we go there, it would muffle any noise we make.
That's a good idea.
No, we start moving that way.
You guys begin to make your way along the left side, and there's a larger landmass, where you've entered in. It tapers a little bit on the left and right to just the sides of this cavern, but there's still a 20-foot space of rock, so it's comfortable enough to walk, not single file. And you're no closer to the tower on the sides as if you were on the front. It's almost equidistant on all sides. So as you guys make your way around the left side of this grotto, along this kind of element of land bridge towards the falling waterfall, you are using some of that sound of the falling water to kind of obscure any potential sound and not alert this creature in the water, and hopefully nothing else of these potential creatures up top of the tower itself. The waterfall is not a massive waterfall. It's kind of a gentle trickle, though it does provide a good amount of water kind of coming in here, a good amount of sound to obscure. And I'll point out too, now that you're almost at the kind of underneath where the lip to this kind of hole up above is, it's probably about a 80-foot drop up and down. And what's everyone's passive investigations?
10.
Not gonna do it.
10.
No, not gonna do it.
13.
Not gonna do
I
it.
think that's the highest.
Yeah, 11.
That's fine.
I miss my
As you
plus 17 or whatever the fuck it was investigation.
It was so high before.
I think my passive investigation was 29 at the end of that game.
That was nuts. Trying to think if there's like a way we could get across without touching the water. Like, I don't know. Originally, I was
Or
like,
like-
if we're up high on that waterfall, but we can't. Like, I can't fly. I can't change into anything that flies.
You haven't changed into anything yet in this campaign, have you? Have you used your wild shape?
I don't even know. If
No,
I can
that
change.
he doesn't know if he does. Yeah, I'm just asking on a game. I didn't think
No.
you did, but I couldn't remember.
Never used it.
After that.
My druid doesn't believe in wild shape.
The most optimal druid. Shit. I'm trying to think of stuff we have. We don't even have like anything where we could make a raft or anything because it's not like there's a lot of wood down here. There's no trees down here.
We have those pitons and rope for climbing when we eventually get there.
Mm-hmm. But we don't have anything. Hey, can you squirrel actually fly? Do we just call him a flying squirrel because it's fun?
What? He's a flying squirrel. He's
Right,
a
but he-
squirrel that flies.
Yeah, but does he actually? I haven't seen him go great distances. I've only seen you kind of like, and then he goes like a little bit, but I think he falls most of the time.
I know he can fly.
Oh, okay,
He flies all the time. He's a flying squirrel.
He's a flying squirrel.
okay. Like a glide. Okay, maybe there's something we can do with that. Like, what if he can like? He can't tie it though. Like, I'm thinking,
we could tie
go
one
and
to
like
him.
tie a rope to another end. It's a long distance.
We could tie one to him and let him fly across. See how far. it
Yeah, but then
gets.
what does he do with him once he gets there? Like, he can't tie it on anything. It's too far. Don't you guys have little like teleport things, or is that distance too far?
That distance might be too far. Usually it's just like a little trick we do.
Allie,
fast
don't
do think
you
the
have one?
water is?
Don't you have Misty Step or something?
I have Misty Step, yeah.
What's
It's for the
distance on
30.
Misty Step? Oh,
It's hard to gauge the exact distance, especially without dark vision. But you can certainly feel it's further than 30 feet.
We can't take anyone with us when we do it.
but I'm thinking if like one person Misty Step there and then could like tie the rope to something, and then other people could try to like, I don't know, shimmy or something. Even if not a single one of us can get over there, I have nothing. I can teleport someone else, but it's also only like 30 feet. And it's like a big spell, so I don't really want to.
We might have to literally swim across, making as little noise as possible.
I think the DM just literally told us, do not fucking swim near this thing.
He said, "Don't wake it up." He said, "Don't wake it up."
If we want to get across, we cannot splash. It'll be a simple slip into the water,
Mhm.
move underwater. Do not surface unless you need to take a breath.
I'm not a particularly strong swimmer, and I also have a lot of clothes, and they like weigh me down. And I'm kind of a large person.
Could you?
I can't No, I just said I can only do someone else. I can get them 90 feet, but it's a big spell, and then I don't know if I can do it again. And I'm a little nervous with what we have to go up against to blow that one right away. I can't do myself.
Then we have to fight this creature.
Why do you keep
We
saying
have to kill
that?
this creature.
But if it's just like nice and just wants to like live there, and like it sounds kind of scary, but like it's just like living its life.
I've seen it tear people twice my size to shreds.
That's awful. Twice your
What
size.
What if we
Tall?
start trying to go across, and if we splash, we either race forward to the shore of the tower or race back and make a stand?
So if it's like 90 feet, I'm just metagaming here. We can swim, none of us have a swim speed, which means that we can swim 15 feet around. It's a lot of rounds to like...
Easy. Just like 5 checks, done. We're there.
Here's my other option.
Okay, you shoot the water.
You 3 go first.
Okay.
No, I will then draw it away.
I
What are you...
It's a better plan.
It's not a
Better than us being bait, which was my
Also-
first instinct.
Yeah, how do you know we can trust you not to be like, hey, over here?
I mean, I think I've been with the Crane long enough that I don't think he wants to overtly kill us.
If I wanted to kill you, I'd do it myself. It's the honorable thing to do.
I believe that, actually. I very much believe that.
It's kind of reassuring.
I mean, okay, I just don't want to fight this thing in the water. Like, is there anything else we have that's like that can float? Because even if like a couple of us were on it and like one of us got like a rope, we can like tow ourselves across on like a barge. But I don't think we have anything. I don't carry driftwood around with me, and there's no trees down here.
We could
I'm
make
going through my stuff
something
again.
out of the moss. If we could get enough of the moss together, maybe we could.
Is it
We
floatable?
can just get the moss.
Oh,
I'm
man.
just looking at my fucking equipment.
So am I.
Andy and DeCrane, throw me just straight intelligence. So D20 plus your intelligence modifier, please.
I have 50 feet.
So bad. So bad.
Okay, 17
God,
and intelligence
I'm
modifier
rolling well tonight.
0.
My so bad still comes out as a 10.
Yeah, 10's not gonna cut it in this instance.
Oh, wait, sorry. That's a saving throw. It's lower than that.
Yeah, it's just your modifier.
Yeah.
DeCrane, to the kind of thought process, this like journey of like using the moss and like looking for driftwood. Though like significant portions, obviously everything here has been burned. It's not burned to, not everything is burned to ash. There are elements of these like mushroom homes and elements that would still be standing that would potentially have enough buoyancy to act as raft and boat. Just it'll obviously require like some maneuvering and require cutting it and moving it. It's not a quiet thing to do. Not necessarily something you can make quiet with the advantages of pass without a trace and all these things. But if you're looking for something that's naturally occurring to act as a boat, there are elements of the remnants of the myconid colony that could act in that way.
Okay. We look to the homes that stand still. We could get something out of them.
But they're like little graves now. You
We
want
got
to take apart these people's homes?
It's our safest way. We'd be helping their memory, but we'd be doing something for them by using it, putting it to good use.
Okay.
I have another backup plan. I like that idea. When we went to the grotto yesterday, remember I was harvesting some of the spores? And it puts you to sleep, and I got 2 of those. So I could always try and put the scary shark monster to sleep.
How would I know if they'd work? Like, would that be something? Like, would I know anything about that?
I'll let you do a nature check at advantage to see if you know that there would be any reason why that.
Do
would
they sleep?
Well, it's a secret
Uh,
now, isn't it?
8 first roll and 7 second roll,
Oh.
and my nature
Yeah.
is +0.
Oh.
The best you can tell is obviously it does sleep. It is sleeping. So if you could get it to, the issue I think is that the application here, now that it's not an active like spore giving mushroom, it would need to craft a tonic, and it would need to consume it. It's not like it's an ingestible now, where it was like an aerosol like spray as a spore. Now that you've harvested it, it would now have to be crafted into an ingestible, and therefore would have to eat it. So it still can be done, but it's not just like shoving the mushroom in its face. Like you would need to craft it properly. If it, Decrane, you feel confident that it would work if you could do that.
Okay.
I have another brilliant idea. Idea. No, you. Are you sure?
No, you go.
All right, hear me out. We put a little tiny, like even just like driftwood in the water that we could like cling to, right? Maybe it's like a bigger one that like the four of us could cling to, or even our pals. We put a rope tied around Toot Sweet. Toot Sweet is our sail. We hold onto the rope. Toot Sweet, trying his little hardest, tows us across the water so we don't have to kick as much, and we just fucking drift to get to there.
My original thought was close to that, actually. Rather than having this tiny little thing try to pull 400 pounds of stuff, like do like a get a long rope and like mount it to something on this side and mount it to something on this side, and like pull yourself across while sitting on like a raft thing.
You would just have to Tootsie would have to like loop himself around.
I know. It would have to be someone else would have to get there with him first to make it easier for everybody else. But I don't really like splitting us up. Again, I could in theory put someone over there, but it's a big spell and I don't really want to do it right now.
Let me look at what Ray can do.
While this discussion is also happening, I would ask everyone to make an additional stealth check. Still with pass without a trace, but you've moved around the space and you're talking, so I just want to.
Oh, nat 20. There's my first nat 20.
17.
4 + 5, 9.
Plus 10.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, 27 for me then.
Hell yeah.
16.
That's what that 10 is?
Yeah.
And the myconids are
Come on,
9, become a 19. So, again, like keeping hushed voices and the this like anti-light of Ray kind of adding to your shadows and keeping yourselves obscured.
Ray has a strength of 0.
Mm-hmm.
She can fly 30 feet. She's a glowing being of pure light that would be bobbing across the water. Her stealth is actually +2, or that's at least her dex, so it's not terrible.
Okay, we gotta make a decision. I think using the float of some kind is probably better than swimming and flailing in the water. That's a good point.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We could try just one of us.
Just start pulling stuff apart.
I'm thinking like one bunny rabbit could go in the water. I can volunteer for this. Go across the water with Toot Sweet towing me. And then when I get across the water, I could have one end of the rope. Toot Sweet could have it tied around. He could fly back to you guys. Then we could do the plan across the water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you take one of the like pittons or something with you, so you have a way to like wedge it into the rock.
I also can. I have a couple ways to teleport if things get really bad. So let's do it. I'm ready. We spent too much time talking.
Yeah, we gotta start moving.
Let's find me some driftwood that I can slink into the water with.
There's no driftwood to find, but there are elements of mushroom that you can certainly use.
Yeah, just like the cutest like little upside down mushroom boat with a little bunny rabbit in it.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't so terrifying, it would be really cute.
What I'll say is it takes you guys to do it like carefully and quietly, using pass without a trace and all this stuff. It's not so much that you can't do it, it's how much time it takes. And ultimately, the time it takes to like quietly go and get it, find a good one that doesn't fall apart after like, hitting it and breaking it down, getting it back. You end up spending including the time you've already spent, half an hour has passed of the hour-long password trace. By the time you are back in position, are you coming back around to this left side near the waterfall to start?
Kind of
Because you'd have to kind of go back to the where you first kind of came in. That's where like the bulk of the living would have been.
Yeah.
Come back on here. Yeah, certainly 30 plus minutes have passed as you come back to this point, but it's easy enough to do. Just took a little bit of time to search for, do it quietly. Doesn't seem to have sparked any interest from anything up top, and the creature in the water has passed by. It seems to be doing kind of like a loop around, but it still seems to be to Crane's eye in this slumber movement,
state thing.
swimming as sharks do to like maintain to keep breathing.
Okay, guys. Wish me luck. Actually, Enid, could you send out Tootsuite?
Sweet.
Sweet pops out, looks around,
Tie a little rope around him.
very confused as to why a rope is being tied around him.
I will slowly dip my little toe in the water to make sure it's not pure acid, or like that scene in Dante's Peak when she just burns alive. It's a shout out for my '90s kids. If you're a Gen Z, you won't understand that reference.
It is not. It's cold, but that's about it.
I'll get more into the water.
With your little mushroom cap boat, the rope around you, and Toot Sweet, this will work. It's just going to take time.
Okay.
And I will need a stealth check. I'm going to just do Toot Sweet can fly 30 feet, but it's half speed when dragging. So 15 feet. It's ultimately going to be 90 feet. So we'll do it in 30-foot chunks. We'll do 3 separate checks, stealth and athletics. So stealth for Augustus, athletics for Toot Sweet.
Let's do it. First check.
Hold on. I'm going to set the DC and I'm going to let you know what it is.
Ooh.
I'm just looking for my my guy. So
I'll keep Ray beneath my coat. I'm gonna put my coat up and keep Ray beneath my coat.
Okay, it's at it's set against the passive perception of the Skaver, which is a 16.
Okay.
So you got to maintain enough stealth, and Toot Sweet has to maintain enough strength in his athletics to not drop the rope, to not just bobble you, tip you over in this mushroom cap, all
Easy.
these things.
Easy. Nope.
Okay, I rolled 16 for Toot Sweet.
On the money.
Great. I rolled 13 plus 2 is 15.
Okay,
Stealth, don't you still have pass without trace?
you do. So
No,
Plus
no, sorry. I mean, wait, let me check this.
Yep.
I rolled 5 plus 10 is 15.
Gotcha. 30 feet into the water, which has taken 12 seconds or so, very slowly moving across. You guys are watching Augustus just gently kind of bobbing in the otherwise black of the water. 30 feet out, Toot Sweet is struggling to pull along, but is maintaining. And Augustus, it's hard to balance. Like, you have decent core strength, but it's just hard to balance, hard to make a balance. And you just kind of tip, and your just foot slaps the water. You all hear it. You all hear a water slap.
You remember what happened last time? Augustus went out into water all by himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. As long as we're on the same page.
Another round for each of you, athletics and stealth. I would like a perception check from Enid, Andy, and DeCrane.
20. No.
14.
Rolled 11. And
20.
Is that 20 for Tootsuite or 20 for you?
Me.
Okay. I need Tootsuite's athletics, please.
my perception was 16.
Thank you.
11 and 5.
That seems like a failure.
3.
Tight.
But 50 or 60 feet into the water, about halfway there at this point, roughly. Just over. Everyone on the shore watches as Tootsuite just struggles, and is just dipping lower and lower into the water, like just over the water surface as he's just struggling and like just grasping and struggling. And he begins to kind of just sputter out and just is like wheezing as he's trying to like make these like weird, squirrely, weird sounds. Augustus, you're doing your best to balance and be quiet and not move. And then suddenly all of you see the light from beneath the water begin to brighten. From the right side, kind of front right side towards where you guys would have come in from, about 90 to 120 feet, you can see all of these starlight spots begin to brighten up, and then one big beam, like a submarine's like headlight, just immediately illuminates in Augustus's direction. The Skaver has awoken. With the light in there, the three of you on the shore look up and can see someone at the top of the crenellations begin to kind of look over the side of the tower as now the water is illuminated. What do you do?
Can we pick up the pace?
In like classic you're scared fashion, I'm just gonna not do anything. Like literally just like, please. Until that thing rushes me, I'm just gonna try and just drift.
Okay.
Can I try to...
illuminated by the light, or it's just in my direction now?
It's in your direction. It's kind of underneath you. It's not reaching you all the way. Like the light does not reach 120 feet, but it is like in your direction. So currently, from your perspective, you see the light, but it doesn't seem to have illuminated you. So if someone's looking down at you, you're not like immediately visible, at least to the best you can determine.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pray, drift and pray. I don't actually pray.
How far can I just, even if I have to use an action, try to make a distance between us and the person up top?
Yeah, sure. Give me
for spellcasting purposes.
Yeah. Just because it's difficult with the distance and the darkness, it's perception or survival, your choice.
Okay. I have advantage on perception, but I don't think my survival is any better, so it's probably better to...
And I need a second or a third and final athletics check from Tootsuite.
Comes up to 17.
Okay. Yeah, pretty confidently from across the water, it looks about 90 to 100 feet. Up to the top of the tower would be more or less the same trajectory.
Okay. So we can see the light, but not necessarily a person.
The light is in the water. There's no light coming from up top.
Sorry, I thought there was like a little firelight or something that we saw up there.
It was like a half hour ago.
Oh, okay.
You can just like see like some shifting of someone, and like you can kind of hear some like movement of like something is moving up on top, and you can vaguely make out the shadow of someone like kind of up looking through the crenellations, not illuminated.
Okay.
Tootsuite's athletics
17.
Augustus, you actively said you're not doing anything, so I'm not giving you a stealth roll, but I would give like your passive with this pass without a trace would give you at least a 10, because it's pass without a trace gives it plus 10. So I'm setting it at a 10, which keeps you out of the sight of the people up top, but not necessarily out of the sight of the scaver if it makes a move. The Toot Sweet, against all odds, pulls you closer and closer to the edge of the tower. However, you all begin to watch as the scaver begins to make its way in a beeline towards Augustus' position. Augustus, you drift, and with eyes closed, you feel you're at the side of the tower.
Like I could get on the shore?
There's no shore.
Oh, it's just tower?
And you look down, the tower descends into the water.
Can I quickly, in this turn, basically take my turn to try and find something that I could latch onto, even like anything, try and hold on to?
Yes, but I'm going to have everyone roll initiative.
Let's do it.
Oof.
Do it.
Oof.
As we roll initiative, 25 to 20.
Yeah, what did I get? Not 25 to 20.
20 to 15.
15?
Okay.
Oof, guys.
That was a big pause.
Just hoping someone else would speak first.
15 to 10.
14.
12.
Oh, Allie.
Where is my sister? Where is my sister?
I got 8.
I do have a question for you guys. How would you rather do this? Would you rather roll initiative for each of the myconids individually, or just have them act on your turn or immediately after your turn?
I think immediately after our turn might be easier to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me. And then, Allie, what'd you get?
8.
You got it.
Allie and Virgil got 8.
Okay, so unfortunately, the scaver gets to go first here.
Fuck, that's a worst case scenario right there.
Great.
That was the one thing that was going to change everything.
I remind each of these squares in the water is 10 feet,
Okay.
not 5. It does not make a direct action dash beeline, but it is coming for you. It is now within 20 feet of you, but you've not made a huge aggressive splash. It is just coming, and it does see something, but it's not I don't know. It's not like making a crazy beeline, but
Yeah.
it did swim 40 feet there pretty quickly, and it is coming.
Okay.
That will bring us to your turn.
Sick. This music needs to get so much better. Okay, my move will be, I just have to check 2 options quickly. I am going to, can I touch the wall of this
You are right up
tower?
on it.
Okay,
Mhm.
amazing. I am going to put one paw on, put one paw on, look at this shark thing, and then I will just feel this immense need and desire to climb and to get off this. And I'm going to feel ray glow within my little coat, and I'm going to wild shape into my bear cat form, which I've never done before. But Kyle and I made specific little monsters that are animals that I can change into. So this is I'll send you a picture of the bear cat. But the bear cat has a climb of 30 feet. So can I climb on that with this bear cat stats?
Ooh.
You can. The stone is surprisingly
Slick.
no. It's surprisingly there's not that many points to grab on. It's significantly what's the right word? It's not like it's a sheer single surface. It is bricked, but the mortar is not worn, which is of interest. However, your claws are strong enough to get within the grooves and pull yourself up. What I will say is, even with your climbing speed, it will be at half speed.
All good. I think wild shape's a bonus action, right? Or is that an action?
Not for you.
Not for me? Okay, so then I'll just
For
go
wild
15.
moon grooves.
Until the
You
circle of the
leave
moon.
behind- Yeah. You leave behind your mushroom and good sweep.
Start climbing.
Begin to climb. See if I can find a cool bear cat.
Bearcats are so crazy looking.
What do we have down here? Yeah, send a picture and I'll think if we have
I
any.
saw one on TikTok.
You send the picture?
I'll send it. Here's
See if I
what
can
the real
find
one
some
looks like.
You begin to climb up 15 feet, which admittedly is not, that's not 15 feet. That's probably a lot higher. But the top of the tower is going to, like this edge right here, you imagine to be about 50 feet.
Okay. One last thing. As I climbed, bearcats have a prehensile tail. Can I still be holding the rope with my prehensile tail?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I will also say, I guess this is kind of a weird situation where like Ray is not activated.
I figure she's like with me in this. We almost like changed together during this.
Perfect. That works for me. Okay.
That's
That ends Augustus's turn.
and then I think my little mushroom guy would do nothing just on the shore, be like, oh, hello. That's it.
This is absolutely nothing they can do anyways.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I think that guy's dead.
Well, that was short-lived. Hi.
We should go back.
Andy, we come to you to crane your own deck.
Jesus, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't want to use my spells yet. Okay. I have nothing. So that the thing is very obviously knows that they're there. How far? So everything's 10 feet, right? So 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm like 50 feet from the thing.
Give or take. You would be 10, 20. Yeah, 50, 55. Or 50,
Okay.
60, sorry.
Okay, that's close enough. I'm gonna just mind sliver it and hope that it's enough of a distraction.
Sure.
It's like it might just save, so it might be nothing, but it's intelligence save.
It was actually a pretty good roll, but not very smart. Comes at 13.
That is the save. So nothing happens.
Sorry.
That's my whole turn. There's no point in moving.
When you cast spell, is it verbal?
Yes, that's the only component.
Okay. As a part of this, go ahead and make a stealth check without your
Plus 10.
without pass without a trace.
Bad.
What's total?
Like 5.
In your haste, you just call out the spell, you incantation, obviously louder than you've been accustomed to with the pass without a trace cover, and we'll see how that plays out. Decrane, that comes to you. I guess, Andy, unless you want to move or use bonus,
I don't really want to move, and I don't have a lot of bonus actions.
then Decrane, we come to you.
Can you just show me quickly where my character is?
You are right
All right.
here. Each of these water squares is 10 feet, so you're about 50 feet from the creature, which you can see is about like 10 feet down in the water. Like its fin is cresting the surface.
Can I take a shot at it?
Yes, you can.
All right.
With what though?
With my revolver.
That will, just so you know, immediately draw everyone's tower attention.
That's
Super fucking loud, isn't it?
But I mean, the tower's already noticed everything.
Not necessarily. The tower hasn't.
You did just call, like, Andy just basically yelled a spell next to you. So, like, you know, at least some sound has been heard. Your perception was enough to notice that someone up top of the tower is kind of looking towards, and basically anything within 20, 30 feet of the scaver is lit up underneath. So soon enough, there is going to be an obvious sign of a creature climbing the wall. But it currently looks like a bear cat, not a person, so you're not sure how they'll react. It's your choice.
Okay, maybe. All right, maybe I'll just go with the bow then. That might. I'm sure I can. It'll still have an impact.
Do you have a long or short bow?
Let me double check.
I think range-wise, you're fine.
Longbow.
No matter what. Okay, yeah, you're definitely fine with longbow. Go ahead and take a shot with your longbow.
Okay, so I rolled a 10 plus 7, 17.
17 will hit. Go and roll damage.
All right, 1d8 plus 3. So 3 plus 3, 6.
Awesome. Yeah, you, for a second, your hand hovers over the revolver. You go to pull up, then you realize, yeah, safer. Draw and fire it with the bow in a smooth movement. The arrow pierces into the water with nary a sound and into the side of the creature. You don't see immediate response, but you know you struck true. Bonus movement, anything?
I'll hold my position for now.
You got it.
And
That takes us to, with a perception check of 9, this person looks over the edge and doesn't really know what to do about this information she sees. She calls back over kind of unintelligibly. You can't quite make out what is being said. But Augustus, you're close enough to hear. You hear a female voice say, "Rube, there's some kind of creature over here. Come here."
Do I think she's looking at me when she's saying that, or at the scary shark thing?
Difficult to tell.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of difficult to tell. Let's find out in one turn.
That is all she's going to do. Enid, we come to you.
I think the only thing I was gonna try if it got worse was just speak with animals and try and speak with the scaver.
Sure.
Like get it to ignore him.
Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. You cast Speak with Animals on yourself?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Hey you, psst. Giant fish thing. Mr. Scaver, I have a question for you. Are you happy with yourself?
As you attempt to get this Scaver to contemplate its place in the universe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the effect goes to deaf ears. Unfortunately, it's not a beast.
Is it a
Oh,
it's a
Monstrosity.
monster?
is it?
I had no idea. That was a
That's
good,
my bad.
No, it was a good shot.
And yeah, unfortunately, it does not pierce the ears of the type of creature. However, you still have that spell up for future use if it comes up.
I mean, it also just heard something.
Mm-hmm. Is there any bonus actions or movement that you want to try?
Nope. I'm just gonna remain still now that I've realized it's not doing anything.
You got it. That brings us back to the top of the round.
We're having a great round, guys.
In fact, I've got a lot of plans brewing in my head. I'm feeling good.
With a natural 1 perception, Augustus, you hear, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And that ends his turn.
Okay. Sick.
To the Scaver's turn. I will actually go back 2 turns for a second here. At the end of Enid's turn would be Sweet's turn. And at the end of each of your turns would have been your myconids. If there's anything you would have collectively wanted them to do, you are free to do so, but they do not want to go in the water. So, and they don't really have range. If you want to, you can certainly try, but it is Toot Sweet's turn, unless there's anything the myconids do.
Virgil doesn't do anything.
The myconids watch and just wait for instruction in this weird space. But it is Toot Sweet's turn. What is Toot Sweet doing? Who is basically just like kind of hovering and like actually has, I don't know if he can hover. He has to land. And so he lands on the mushroom actually, which would make most sense. What does he do?
We still need him to fly back with the rope, right?
Potentially? But
Yeah, but at this point,
happening.
the rope hasn't also been secured to anything, which I think was... Oh, no,
It's secured
Scott
to the
has
prehensile
it.
tail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. At
It's
this
also
point,
wrapped around Tootsie. But who
Yeah.
knows?
Should I just like bamf him?
Honestly, have no idea. Whatever you choose will be the right decision. Because there's who knows what's gonna happen.
what's the speed?
His
30. You can get 3 squares if he goes water way.
You can also
Good
fly,
action dash though.
Okay.
which would technically cost your bonus action, but you didn't use it, so that would
Yeah.
be totally fine.
Okay.
Is that what fly back towards you guys?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not? It was the plan.
Why not?
It's not like he's gonna change his plan. He's like, well, this is fucking crazy. I'm getting out of here.
He
Why
begins
did
to
you
fly.
bring your mushroom man with you, Scott?
Why didn't I?
Oh, you did. Oh, sorry. I thought
No,
you
that's
did.
that's my mushroom cat
Oh.
boat.
That's your boat.
That's my
I
little
understand. Okay.
made
Now.
of the corpse of a mushroom.
We jump ahead back to present day. With Toot Sweet no longer present and flying away, therefore not disturbing the water, the Skaver has no choice but to eat your boat as it dives beneath the water and surface underneath the boat. It swallows the boat whole and then continues to fly up and bite at the bear cat.
Okay. I was feeling good, and then now I feel bad.
That's a 15 to hit.
Unfortunately, that hits.
This is going to hurt.
Okay.
31 points of piercing damage.
Ooh. Okay, so it had 17. 31 subtract 17. That's 14 to me.
Oh, God, that's really bad.
So I'm at 8 health. It got bad.
As you lose your climbing speed and drop back into Augustus's form, it does not swallow you.
It's good.
Do you attempt to try and hold onto the wall as Augustus? Do you attempt to try and hold onto it, or do you fall to the water?
Is this just like an
This will be your
action you're giving
reaction.
me? Okay. Let's try and stay clinging to the wall.
Okay. That is the harder of the options, obviously.
Let's go for it though.
I'm going to need an athletics check from you as a reaction.
Okay. How's 2?
Not the best, in the world. And unfortunately, you fall into the water right there. The creature jumped up, leapt up, and then also falls back into the water.
Cool.
That takes us to your turn.
Great. So I just want to see which one's probably the better. In here, summon wildfire spirit costs me an action, and then it costs me a bonus action, I think, to do the fiery teleport thing, and that only moves me 15 feet. So I am going to, that was really confusing. I've never wild shaped in anything before. It lasted 3 seconds and then I got attacked by a fucking shark flying monster. Splashing down into the water, I'm going to instantly look back towards the shore, and I'm going to misty step as close as I can to it. So just 30 feet close to it. That's my bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just burn that with my little thing here. And then I'm going to just I think haul ass and just try and swim. I know I'm splashing, but gotta get the fuck out of here.
If you use your action to dash, you can get to there.
Yeah. So he's burned my action to dash, and I think that's all I got. Action, bonus action. That's it.
Okay. Andy, we do come to you as you watch Augustus fall to the water and then just begin to haul ass away.
Okay. I'm gonna say to myself, they're really bad people. They're really bad people. And then I'm gonna cast on whichever one I can see better, Vortex Warp on one of the 2 guys up top.
You can kind of see either 6 of 1, left or right.
One on the right.
Oh,
What does she do? What's
It
this?
is a con save.
A con save?
Mm-hmm.
Fail for sure.
Yes.
Great. I'm going to put it directly in front of the creature. Or like, how about like a foot above the water so it falls in the water in front of the creature and makes a big splash?
Out of nowhere, this woman screams and is in the water and directly in front of this creature.
Great. That's my second level spell. I don't have a bonus action. I think I'm going to move to the left, like try to start moving us to the left a little bit. Like, try to not like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's fine. And I guess my little mushy dude can come with me. He has nothing to do. Or she. I don't know what they are. That's it.
You got it? Okay. Yeah, there's just terrible splashing from this woman in the water now. But the creature does look like it has a new target.
Okay.
DeCrane, we come to you.
It's huge.
Can I see the guys on the tower?
Yeah, what I will say is now as this creature is looking over, you watch like a small torch get lit, and he's like holding out over, trying to look down. And you can see this kind of gnomish figure, kind of shorter, older looking, with a crossbow, is looking down to try and see what happened.
Goodness, brings back memories. Gnomes. I'm going to use my bow on him.
You got it. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
8, and I think it's 7, 15.
A 15 hits for sure. Wearing leather armor, but not particularly good stuff.
And my D8 roll is a 6 plus 3, 9.
9 points of damage. Okay, you watch your arrow sink in, and where this guy was looking over the edge, your arrow pierces into his thigh, and I'm gonna roll to see if he stays on top of the tower here.
Yikes.
Oh, that would help us so much.
Come on, you
Can you only use your like grip points on your gun, or can you use it on other range stuff too?
Actually, that's true. I don't know. Would it say?
I think it's intended to be with the gunslinger. It's intended to be with your firearms because like some of them are like based in like the power of a blast of a gunshot, not an arrow. Manages to hold on, but you watch him like topple over and like almost fall off, but he falls to his side, clinging to his thigh, and is like yelling.
That's good though. Blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
With my bonus, could I hit him again?
Not with this. You could action surge and hit him again.
Let's do it. 7 and 7, 14.
Hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
And D8 plus 3, 6.
Yeah.
Plus 3, 9.
As he falls over, clinging onto his thigh, you just draw another shot and fire through, piercing through the throat as he's like calling out, and he just tumbles forward.
Splashy, splashy.
Splashes hard into the water behind the creature. Now on both sides, blood in the water.
This is just how we drew it up, guys. Things are going great.
DeCrane, that is your action surge. You still have your bonus and movement if you wish.
No, I think
Hold.
I'll hold. Yeah.
Cultist number 2 over here is the lady, and she is alive. So she is going to. She's gonna swim away. She gets nowhere as the creature just swallows her whole.
Woof.
That ends her turn. Enid, we come to you.
Oh my god.
Okay, so obviously my priority is Augie. Do I see him?
Yeah, he's like 10, 15 feet in front of you.
Okay.
Swimming at you.
Just like hard.
Am I able to can I do to get you?
You could just like use your movement.
Yeah, you can jump in, grab him, and jump back out and be fine.
Yeah? Okay,
Mhm.
I'll do that then.
Easy enough.
Splash.
You're able to jump in, reach out, grab him, pull him ashore, and sure enough, the two of you, that uses your full movement to like go in and out again.
Yeah.
But you're able to do so.
Okay.
That was
You still have an action. You still have a bonus. Is there anything you want to do with it?
Yes. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see if I have any bonuses. Hold on.
I think I changed into a cat. I'm so scared. I think I cat myself.
No, I'm okay.
Okay. From Enid comes to the Scaver's turn. Distracted by more food. Swallows the other body whole.
Oh my god, this guy's so much.
I definitely thought this was gonna keep it busy for more than one turn.
No. Oh,
You do see it dive down a little bit further after having eaten. But we'll see what happens here.
it's gotta be full. It's gotta be.
Augustus, we do come to your turn.
God. Heal myself, please.
Okay.
I will use our good friend the Staff of Healing and use Cure Wounds on myself. 1 charge. Let me just roll that. It's a +2, I think.
Oh, actually, sorry. Enid, at the end of your turn is Tootsuite's turn.
Yeah.
You want just to fly up to you?
Yeah.
Cool.
He doesn't need to do anything else. He's done his job.
There we go.
1d8 +4. Great. Let me roll this shit. 1d8. Great. 10 health back. So I'm at 18, which is 4 off my normal. So this is nothing bad has happened today. I don't even know what to do. I'm just gonna be like, that was fucking crazy. I almost did it and I fell and then where's that?
With the distraction of food and 2 cultists to snack on, the Scaver doesn't immediately pursue now that you're out of the water. With its focus eating the 2 bodies and drifting down, there's nothing left in the water for it to be focused on. You're able to kind of slip away, hurt. But it kind of goes back to a roving patrol after a few minutes.
Okay.
Well, that could have gone better.
Do you want me to try again? I'll just get back in the water.
I think we should probably try to think of something else.
Isn't that the saying?
What if at first you don't get completely eaten by a monster? Try again.
Yeah, it's like when the shark doesn't swallow you, you just get right back in the water.
Yeah. I don't think that's quite right. Okay. We need a plan B. Either we, I guess, hope that thing is full and we could go all together, but
I hate the sound of dice rolling by a DM.
we also those 2 kind of yelled pretty loud, so we don't know if their friends are coming up.
At least they're gone.
Yeah. The myconid said there was 6 of them, at least at first, so that was 2 of them. So maybe there's 4 left? Unless more came over these last couple of days.
How high is the ceiling, cavern ceiling, above this tower? Like a lot.
It's pretty high up there, yeah.
Okay. I was trying to think if there's an alternative, like, descend from instead of, like, try to go up to, but if it's super
Oh,
high.
no, but you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Hey, did you see anything when you were there? Also, were you, like, a big thing?
Something weird happened. I got so scared, and then my hands turned into claws, and I had a tail. I have like a little tail. This was like a long tail. I don't really want to talk about that part right now. I'd rather focus on how we get in the tower.
It was pretty cool, though.
Right? It felt cool until the shark, it bit me so hard that my entire body failed, and I fell in the water, and I was me again. So that was less cool.
Okay, Decrane, from what you know of this thing, do you think, like, it's gonna attack again? Or are we good for now if we just booked it?
There's a good chance. I mean,
I did
maybe
learn something. Sorry to interrupt you, Green. There was no like door that I could see when I got there. I was pretty panicked, but it's just like, it's there. It's not like you just can like stand on the beach. Like it's built in the water. So if we were to swim, we would need a plan to not just like flounder.
Great. Okay.
I might
90 feet up.
a cat again and bring the rope up or something. I was pretty good at climbing.
Okay, but you'd have to get over there again. And that thing's like, it's swimming around. Can we see what direction it's gone in, Kyle?
Good to
Or just dove down?
It just dove down, but it's still lit. It's still awake, so you can see it. Like, kind of, it's made its way. It's starting to like just continue back to a patrol. So it's starting to like, over time, you watch it just circle around. You're smart enough to like have watched it now a couple of times. It makes a full revolution in about a minute or two, like give or take. Like you're a minute or two.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't have reason to go, like it pretty consistently.
That's not dead. Yeah.
Just trip around in 2 minutes leisurely.
Can Tootsweet bring the rope up, and then if we can get it tied to a pillar, we can climb.
It's a good idea. I'm not sure if Titsui can do it. He doesn't really have opposable thumbs. But
He's really smart.
But to be fair, I never taught him how to like tie a knot or anything.
Yeah.
So
okay, I have an alternative. It might be kind of hard to do, but what if we tied a rope to one of the pittons and I use my magic to huck it really hard?
So cool.
Mhm.
I love it.
you can do that. That'd be so cool.
I don't know how like sturdy was that rock. Do you think you could actually get one of those things into it?
DM?
Your claws went in it.
My claws went in it.
Okay. Let me check the range on that
Would you
spell
rather do
first.
it with an arrow?
No, I would rather do something that can hold our weight once it's in there.
A piton is your better bet.
Pin's probably a better bet.
God, I'm just blowing through spells. Okay.
Your wizard.
Catapult is only a 60-foot range.
So you just gotta get 30 feet in.
Yeah, just get in the water, you're fine.
Yeah, sure, just get in the water, no problem. Actually, wait, let me check. 1 second. No. The
It's 90
item
foot.
has to be 60 foot from me, but then I can tuck it 90. So we're
Amazing.
good. So if someone can tie a really long rope, if someone has one.
We bought climber's gear.
I
One of
assume
the-
you had a several feet of rope tied together from the last
That's
plan.
true. We just did that. That's right. So if someone can tie it really, really good to one of the pittons, then I can use catapult to try to like get it as high up on the tower as I can.
DM, would you say knots are survival?
Yeah,
I'll try and tie this. Got +6.
that's a survival skill.
Can I roll?
I assumed you guys had already done this from the last plan because the longest rope you would have is 50 feet.
No,
So-
to tie to the pitten, I think he's saying. So in
Sure.
a way that would like hold our weight.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. Survival.
Thank fucking god, it was like on a 2. 24.
Yeah. Easily. If this piton is affixed, it'll be a solid entry point. It'll be solid enough to begin the process. Now, one of the elements is applying the piton via magic is going to require a roll, obviously. And the rope would be 100 feet if two 50s are basically put together, give or take a couple of feet for tying purposes. So you'd have 100 feet. You could do that from the land to there, no problem, without it hitting the water and potentially alerting the scaver. Depending on your roll, you may not be sure at how much weight it can hold after that point. But let's start there.
Let's fucking do it. I cast Bless on me, Nettie, Andy. Sorry to crank.
Okay. for the next minute, you have bless, but for this, it's an attack roll I'm looking for.
So you got a D4 to this.
Okay.
Spell attack roll against, this is hard stone. It's a AC of 19, I believe.
Oh, shit.
Let me pull up that specifically. This is stone AC of 17.
Okay. With bless, I have a +5 attack roll, so at least a 12 would be great. If we're slightly less than that. It's a 9 on the dice. Let's roll this.
So
bless.
14 so far. You need 3 or 4.
That's a 4!
With that roll, you are able to take the pitten, and you can describe, but you can pierce just below where you would climb up over the edge onto the crane missions.
I think I would have someone else hold it, so I can focus on the magic part and just the same way I've done with other things. It's actually pretty quick because she likes to try to make it look like someone else is doing doing the throwing, and it just like whip beelines like an arrow.
The advantage of this obviously is you now have a solid point to hook into.
Someone hold on to the other end of the rope first.
Scaper is not alerted to the sound, and with the 2 cultists up top dead, there's no other alerting here happening immediately. You have a solid strong point connection to this tower and 100 feet of rope from it.
Oh, I don't know what the next step is. I did that.
Up it. We gotta climb up it.
Well, we gotta attach it to something else.
I'm gonna use one more burn from this thing to get up to full health.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could climb up this with a wild shape.
I think we need to not go all at once because I don't think it's gonna hold all our weight.
How good are my little myconid friends of climbing?
Not
Their
very.
strong suit.
How heavy are they?
Just so I'm getting this clear, are you planning to hold this end of the rope, tie this end, and climb that way?
Look, I didn't get that far in my planning.
Really skipping ahead a lot for us.
My the shittiest version of this plan is to tie this to something else and climb the rope, but that seems, I don't think I could do that very well. My strength is bad.
Basically, what I'm going to say is that is a plan. You can do that. That is something that is totally viable. It's going to require a series of athletics checks to make your way across. At least 2. You could, using your climber's kits, if you can get to the tower and climb up using that rope and pittons, you now have a stable line that you could use to set pittons and then easily all climb without the need for checks. But you'd have to get to the tower. So you can do it from here and just have to make rolls. Or you can get to the tower somehow.
And then just easy up, yeah.
Easy up.
How long did it take Augustus to get there in his little boat?
It was going very slowly, but it took what would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 rounds. So,
okay. So if we, in theory, wait for this thing to pass and wait for it to get 2/3 of the way around, by just counting, make sure it's the complete opposite side of us, and then also have some backup plan. So if we make a noise or something else, someone has some way to huck something super far and make a splash somewhere else, some kind of distraction.
Myconids could do that for us.
Right? Or a little toot sweet goes and squeaks really loud in another area or something. So we give ourselves enough time to try to at least get up and out of the water. Does that sound reasonable to everybody?
Fuck yeah.
with one element is, it's not drawn to sound outside of the water. It's drawn to interaction with the water.
I know, which is my concern about the boats, but I don't really have another option.
Myconids could throw shit in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a point of saying like squeaking or something out.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Not.
What if we
that's not-
sacrifice the myconids?
No. Let's not. What are you?
They might die during this, like, make a distraction, but we're not gonna volunteer them to death.
Also, they do cool shit, and I want to see them do that cool shit, not in the
See
water.
DeCrane, like, slowly lifting up his. Mhm. Let's swim across when it's on the opposite side, and if it starts to hear us, the myconids could throw something in the water.
Okay. You guys. So. Okay. I'm just gonna.
Are we swimming or are we using little boats?
You will
Use
need
the
to go
little-
and get another boat.
Okay, we only got one boat.
The other boat was eaten by the scaver.
Could you just, like, drag yourself through the water with the rope? Do you know?
Oh yeah, could we use that as like a way to get us go there faster?
It just is also going to require like a stealth check. It'll probably just be one stealth check to
we-
get across the
Do we
water.
feel past those trees?
You are coming up to the end of it.
I'll just recast it. We're gonna need it anyway, so I immediately recast it right now.
You have a ton of it.
You got more than you could ever need.
Yeah, you guys could get through the water. That is going to be a stealth-based roll, and it's still probably wisest to do with the timing of keeping the creature on the other side of the
Mhm.
tower.
Let's do
But with all your timing, with everything in check, everyone roll stealth checks.
it. Plus 10.
Plus 10.
Plus 10.
Now,
Y'all.
secondary question. Are the myconids coming with you?
In the water? No.
Your only plan currently involves swimming.
So how are they gonna get over here?
This is the question.
I didn't
Could they
think
get-
the myconids were coming in the tower with us. These
They
things can't
intended to.
They intended to. They wanted to avenge their fallen people.
They were going
I
to come
just
with you.
remember when we got to the point where they dissolve in water and we have to cross the water
Not
to
that they
get the scared
dissolve, but it's just they can't swim.
So what if they like backpack on us?
Well, they're heavy.
What- Oh, okay.
It will give you. It'll give your stealth disadvantage.
Can we pin down the other end of the rope? So we got one here, one up to the tower. Myconids stay with the bottom one, and we do like one us first. We try and go across the water first. Then, if we get up to the tower, we could see if the myconids could try the same thing.
The
And
only
we don't have a rope
issue-
at the bottom.
Yes, the only issue would be you would be sacrificing your rope on one side.
I could.
We
go
would not get
Bearcat.
the rope.
I could go Bearcat up the rope.
But
Like,
I
we
could
could use
easily
the rope.
find the rope if you were doing it lengthwise. Like if you were doing it from ground to tower and just climbing
Yeah,
like that,
Then I could
Bearcat
put
could do
another-
that no problem.
and then I could put another rope down,
Mhm.
or we could all get there together, and then once we get to the top of the tower, bearing any confrontation, Hondo could shoot a arrow back to shore to try and get these myconids.
Fuck
or
is
something.
Hondo?
The crane could arrow back to shore.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do we want
So what's the plan?
Bearcat? Do we want Bearcat or do we want arrow shoot across?
So you mean to get them up after the fact?
Just to get us to starters. For starters, how do we want to get across?
I think if
Swims past for the
Yeah.
okay,
Wait for this part.
I think we get ourselves to the tower and up first, and then maybe see if we can try to get the rope back to them to see if they want to go. But they're going to be doing fucking athletics checks, and they're not athletic. So
I dig it. Let's do it. Let's just us go. Mike and his weight on shore.
Okay.
ugh,
But
I
again,
don't like this.
are you guys going? Sorry, are you swimming across
I
and like
think
holding
we
yourself
are.
across, or are
I
you
think
doing?
Yeah.
we are holding the rope and like
Pulling ourselves,
Pulling
swimming
ourselves.
across. Yeah.
You got it. So back to stealth checks, straight rolls across the board for the four of you.
Plus 10.
I'll use
Plus 10 was as well.
Oh, plus 10.
17 for my roll.
17 with the 10.
Fortunately, yeah.
6. So wait, is it our modifier plus 10 or just the
Yeah.
plus 10?
Modifier.
Modifier
Modifier
and 10.
plus
Oh, so 21.
Mm.
Great.
26.
Nice.
Okay. Andy,
17.
Just like me.
okay. the group of you start to pull yourself carefully across, and you feel very confident that like no big splashes, nothing big. And then the four of you are kind of beginning to group up at the base of the tower in the water, all four of you. And like you could, whoever was there first could probably begin kind of starting to pull themselves up a little bit. They'd be up a little bit higher. It's taken longer than you anticipated to get around. The timing was more or less right. However, not having like stable footing at the tower, you're treading water. You can hold the rope a little bit, but you're still holding and treading water. Augustus and Andy, you're doing the best you can to be quiet, but the Skaver is particularly adept at detecting these kinds of things, and it's beginning to get a little too close for comfort. What are you doing?
Could I try and cast Entangle on it? Entangle needs grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square, starting from a point within range. I have range 20 feet.
I think it needs like a ground to root it to. Probably I don't think you can do it to a creature specifically. That would be ensnaring strike.
Creature in the area when you cast the spell must succeed. Yeah, so I guess it wasn't close enough to the ground or something. Okay.
It's like swimming, right? So
I think we should start trying to climb this thing.
Basically, currently, with it coming in and the stealth checks not being 100% over the threshold, the climb it'll take too much time for you to set the pittance to go with climbers kits without checks needed. You will need to do the athletics checks, all four of you.
Let's do it.
3 of you have bless.
That's for saving throws and attacks, though. I think bless doesn't do ability, right?
Oh, it's not a check. Sorry.
Natural 20.
And what? 6. Whoa.
I don't think I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go Bearcat again and just start climbing.
You got it. Action become Bearcat, no problem.
16.
No problem. It's a crane. And of course, natural 20, obviously. Enid scampers up super easily. Bearcat climbs. Slowly, just finding your claw footing and finding your way in this creature form. Andy?
Oh, then natural 19, which makes it a 19. So
That's scary. That's real scary.
Uh-huh.
The 4 of you begin to pull yourselves up and out, water dripping from each of you into the water below, and the Skaver gets just up to it. You see the fin break the surface of the water, and the light begin to kind of crest up, and you can feel the light is just getting to the heels and lower elements of the last person's body, and the end of the rope is swaying into the water, and this just kind of faint trail, and that's what the Skaver goes for. Bites it in half and tears it, but your catapult was strong enough to hold that the rope dangles and cuts off at the base of the tower, but the rest of you are able to pull yourselves up free, and the Skaver swims down again. The 4 of you make it to the top of the tower in the middle of this grotto. The 4 myconids stand at the shore, and a hatch is the only thing on top of this tower in the far right side. Where we go from here, we'll find out next time.
Oh,
Don't you love being our DM, Kyle?
Oh
Don't
my
you love
God.
being our DMs?
I do.
you know what else I realized too we could have done?
Oh no.
I don't know if it would have helped.
Do we have a
though.
magic carpet this
We
one?
have jerky. We could have taken the jerky and thrown it as a distraction.
I think
Some
that would have been
bait.
good.
Bait. Food would have got it.
Don't like it anyway.
Yeah.